Welcome to Maker Conversations. I'm your host, Tiff Marchand, and today on the show we have the very funny, very adorable Leah from Parker Place Woodworking. She is a maker of all kinds. She does scrolling, carving, building. So this lady, she's not afraid of anything. So join me for a great conversation with her. And a huge thank you to Sabertooth Power Carving for sponsoring this podcast, and a shout out to them for the contest that I'm hosting right now for them, the Carve With Us competition. We are on week 2 right now, and there's plenty of time to still join in to this competition. It is ending on May 15th, so jump in, grab some burrs, and let's get carving. You can use NIGHTCARVER 10 in all caps to save 10% on your purchase of Sabertooth burrs, and the prize pack is $500 worth of burrs. So get in there, have some fun. All right, let's get on to our episode. Do you know how I found you? I don't know if you know how I found you or heard of you before.
No.
Okay. But so I found out about you through Ricky TV. So
how?
Because he shared you, and it was like, finally somebody who's sharing authentic stuff and who's just not just falling into the crowd of, trying to go viral.
Sweet Uncle Ricky got me seen. What's up, Ricky?
That's how I found out about you. I was like, well, if Ricky is taking the time to share somebody to his stories, which he never does. So super rare. It's only a few people that he has that love for. And I'm like, I'm going to trust his recommendation.
Oh, well, I hope that I have come through with, Ricky's a little bit like stick it to the man.
Yes.
And we talk often about just forget the rules. Why? Who made them? Why are we doing them? And my big beef is with Instagram music. I don't want to choose a music that you want me to choose. Your music is super lame. And so anyways, we got to talking about that. So he threw me a bone. I'm thankful for it.
That's awesome. It's kind of rare that when you share somebody, they actually do get followers. So it is nice when that actually happens. You would think it would happen. And then I never find the conversion. It's like, oh, cool. They shared me. And it's like,
nope. It's like crickets.
Yes. Just like anybody. So normally I stalk somebody all the way down, but because I was in a cleaning frenzy, I have not made it to the bottom of your page yet. So it's not that I'm over here just slowly scrolling the mouse down on a different screen, trying to get there while we're talking. I wouldn't be doing
I see your
that.
eyes yeah.
But I want to see what you were making in the beginning. So can you tell me what kind of what you started off with making? So as I'm getting there, I can see it.
Yeah, I just actually, a memory popped up from 7 years ago or some odd years ago. And my dad had just retired. And so I made him, the early days of go grab a pallet and chunk it up and throw it into a shape. And I did that for my dad. And then it kind of took off from there. And in sweet little Tyler, Texas, I accidentally made a side hustle out of it that and it was just pallet stuff you put on your wall.
So art,
I don't even know if you oh yes, definitely art and wall decor. I wouldn't even call it a mosaic. I don't think it qualifies as mosaic, but it was pieces of wood laid in an arrangement. Very rough. I'll share it after this. Very rough.
I see it. I have found it.
Oh.
But you say very rough. No. But you say very rough, but they're nice. I know what you mean. They're basic for what you do now. But
yes,
if I would stumble upon these, I would say somebody has taken their time to create them. It's not garbage. It's just completely different from what you're doing now.
Yeah, it's a basic, side hustle. But the long story of it, or the short story of the long story, it put my husband through radiology school. That you're looking at. So it just shows you that talent is smaller than hustle. And the talent comes if you hustle long enough. And I don't know if I'm there yet with that word. I call myself stubborn more than talented.
I don't know, honey. You're pretty talented.
I'm also really stubborn. Yeah.
It's a good combination. It forces you to be like strong with your creative sense because you're
Yeah.
making these things to your level. Like you're saying you're stubborn, but it's because you want to get to a certain way, right? It needs to look a certain
Yes.
way. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're gonna keep working at it until it looks how you envision it. And you can tell in your work.
Oh, thank you, friend.
Like you sand like no other.
Oh my gosh, especially today, 45 utensils hustled in 3 days.
That's amazing.
I don't recommend it.
I just did one yesterday and I know how long that took. It wasn't forever, but to do that many, I'd
Yeah.
be so sick of them. But like, you're so creative with the way you do them. You go through like little series I've noticed of like shapes and stuff. So that way it's kind of like, an assembly line. You're
Yeah.
just kind of working your way through and you have all these different woods, which I always appreciate seeing like the difference.
Oh yeah, I go with the trifecta. Walnut, cherry, and maple. If I get real fancy, let's put some ambrosia in there. And
Ooh.
no, I've worked really hard lately because I'm doing these markets. Half out of necessity, half out of like, how hard can I go? That's always my question is like, how many things can I bring? How much variety? How fast can I batch it out? But I've been pushing really hard into efficiency, and I really need to step harder into Instagram about that part of my business that I
Process.
really want to improve on. Yes, I've added a lot of brands to my workflow that have single-handedly changed the way I'm going about the things that I'm making. And so you may see me making the same thing, but for on my side of it, I'm making it in a completely different way that's going super fast that I've yet to create that into a reel to package it to show folks. But
It's
so
hard
yeah,
going
like big
back
strides
and
happening.
reprocessing that
Yeah.
stuff, like,
Yeah.
but it'd be exciting when you do that. It will be cool. I know, like I saw you have the
Hopefully.
surf prep sander now too to get all those edges and corners and stuff.
Oh, like they sponsor every soft edge that I have. I just want to like grab your voice and you just whisper like surf prep and then put it in every one of my reels. Every time you
Surf
see
prep.
like a soft that, like, let's
Here.
cut that and like send it to me.
All right, ready? Quiet, quiet. Let's get this one ready.
Mhm.
Surf prep. Oh wait, you made a sound. Okay, right, okay. Surf prep. Ooh, surf prep. There you go. We have our audio. I'll send it to you later.
There
I'll
we go.
cut it out.
Yes.
We've got
Yes.
it.
And every time I use it, surf prep is gonna send me $5. So like hashtag, paid partnership. Just kidding.
Hey, I have one of their sanders and I love it. And I want the one that you have as well. I have the 3x4, but I also want the circular one because I
I
like
need the
that. The
3x4.
oscillator. Oh, see,
Yeah.
it's funny because like you have one, but it's like I still need the other one for other things. It's like, you need
Yeah.
it all.
Yeah.
Surf
I
prep.
need
We need more.
$5. Done.
But no, that's great. I love it. And like it really is a nice tool to have. So I think that's really cool. I know like the saber tooth, obviously, you've been delving into that. What else have you added besides that? Like I know you've been making your own tool lately.
Hey, that TBD because I've got a few people who are helping me with that process. But just with the spoons that I just did, Sabretooth gets me in the door on those spoons, right?
Mhm.
That dish that I got was perfect. Like that cut down hours. But the tool that I'm making single-handedly got me through the sanding process faster than anything I found on the market. And so, I mean, it's a little bit of a pipe dream, but I'm a dreamer. I don't apologize for it. I feel like the world's made up of us who have an extra amount of hope nestled in our body. And maybe we can get that thing to market. But as far as the other brands are concerned, I'm not affiliated with Sir Prep at all. I'm just a tried and true believer. Name drop Annie's Woodworks from Louisiana.
Mhm.
That kid, she's probably like the most influential person in my life whenever it comes to branding. Well, she hit me up with Surf Prep probably a year or two ago, and I just got them in the shop not too long ago, and I'm a full convert, and it's completely because of Annie. If y'all don't follow her, go find her.
I've seen
Um,
you guys talking back and forth. I think it's so cute because I didn't know you guys were friends until like y'all started talking on the Workbench Con account. So then I was just there laughing. I was like, oh, there's a love here. I didn't know. I didn't
oh
know.
yeah, Annie's been out to the house several times. She's about 3 hours east in Louisiana from me. She's got a softball game going on tonight that her dad is probably going to text me updates. The single most like human hustler that you've ever met. Like the kid is loyal. She hustles. She's sweet to boot. But listen, she's going to razz me to no end. Like you've seen it.
Yeah. Yes. I think it's
Yeah.
funny. I think it is funny. I'm like, oh, yeah. I don't know her at all. So, but I've heard only good things about her.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I love seeing like that relationship with you guys. I think it's adorable.
She's a gem. But Montana brand is I just talked with Nick from Montana.
He's so nice.
Oh, he is a gem. We have kids that are around the same age. But we got to talking about my lacking in the shop, and I've come up to speed in so many different areas. But what's horrible is I have no, like, I'm operating out of like Walmart bits and drivers, and there's a time when you start using those things and you're like, I'm tired of fighting this. So that's where you, like, the things that miff you the most in the shop, that's where your attention needs to go. And he just sent me out some stuff that I can't wait to tear into, which will probably be tonight because we have a large hole in the shop ceiling.
I saw, yeah. Your husband was cutting into the shop ceiling. What are you guys doing?
So my shop right now, I've basically got 2.5 walls of it. We pretended that I'm not using the entire space for a really long time. And I told my husband, I said, we're not pretending anymore. I got to use that wall that's just got storage stuff. So we're throwing all that stuff into the attic. So we're cutting an attic, ladder right now. And I will soon, hopefully, have one more wall that will be a miter saw station, plus a lot of wall storage and maybe some, what's it called? Wall control. Maybe some of that,
Those folks are real nice over there at Wall Control.
I'm going to blow him a few kisses right now and see if I can't get something from him.
Wall Control. We love you. That's right.
Wall Control.
I do though. They're awesome. Their team is amazing. Did you hang out with them at all when you were at Workbench?
Yeah, very short, because if you were at Workbench Con, you knew that I was in the Bearwoods, or maybe you didn't know. I'm acting like you were there. I was in the Bearwoods booth, and I hustled that booth from the beginning to the end of the day. I didn't really get to venture out. Like I didn't get to see any of the, it stinks, but at the same time, my reward was I had tons of talk time and hangout time on machines with so many different makers.
Fun, right?
Yes. And so although I didn't get a lot of the information that is valuable to no end, I got great relationship time and just really genuine, authentic conversation. It wasn't small talk. It was just us and our craft. And I'm eternally grateful for Bearwoods bringing me. Hopefully, I'm about pulling my weight. Hopefully I did that, but love the time I got.
Oh, I love it. You put in so much effort and making all those bottle openers. Like, yeah, like amazing feat. Thank you for giving me the first one. I was very honored, by the way. And I love how you gave it to me while we were on a live. I was like, this is great. This is
after
perfect.
After I did that, I was like, I would have chewed my kid out if they came up and like tackled me in a live like that. Not really. Maybe.
Shit, I used that in the promo. You're good. I was like, footage. I like this one.
Yes. Well, I was just trying to I knew that I'd been in contact with you the most, and was super stoked that you guys allowed me to use the Workbench Con logo and flip it upside down.
I just love that you thought of that. I don't know if she's ever used that in the past, but like, yes, turning the Workbench logo into maker, the word maker, like,
I felt legit smart, like next level.
It was, because like I've been working on that brand for a year plus now, and I didn't think of that. Well, what if we flip that W over?
For real, yes.
Yeah.
That was one of those like in the 9th hour ideas, and but yeah, so I batched out like 120 of them, something like that. I can't remember now, because Workbench Con that next week it was just like a psycho world of sleep, and survival.
The whole month, I swear, was just recovery. Like
Yeah.
literally 2 weeks. My husband's like, you shouldn't still be tired, Tiff. Are you okay? And I'm like, babe,
Yeah.
everybody is exhausted. Like he was there with me, but he got to chill and like walk around when we didn't need him. So like he had downtime. I didn't stop talking. Like, and I'm sure you had the same
Yeah.
experience where it's like I didn't go to any of the classes this year because I was interacting with people the whole time. And I mean, I was filming everybody's classes too. So
Right.
I did actually attend every single class, but it was more of me just
Mhm.
going, hi, and then walking out.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like a spectator, like for sure. It was, see, in my life here, it's me in a house on a hill in East Texas. I can't throw a rock and hit anyone for, about 20 minutes. Long story
Wow.
short, yeah. So me like interacting that much, that was like I had to just revive like college Leah who did not need sleep or, actual nutrient food could just exist, and
Yeah.
um so coming home my kids were like, did Workbench Con break mom? And I was like, yeah, in the
Yes.
best of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I work from my basement at home. I do chit chat on like Clubhouse and stuff, and I
Mhm.
do these, but like that's the most interaction I have during the day. Usually I'm just chilling quietly while doing work. So
Yeah.
yeah, I lost my voice for sure. And like
Mhm.
afterwards, like these last week, I've been last month, I kept losing it before podcast. I was like, oh God.
Mhm.
Because I just had
Come
talked
on.
so much. I'm like, come on, Tiffany, you can do this. You can do this. Rally.
Yeah, if you would have called me 2 days ago, I would have sounded like literally like my dad, Billy Earl. I would have sounded like him singing like Barry Manilow because of whatever sickness I got. But uh that's having kids though. That's germs. Germ City.
Are you doing this full time right now? This, are you doing other
So
stuff with it?
well, I don't even know how I would calculate if it's full time. The way that I describe it loosely
Mhm.
is I'm a full-time mom and a full-time maker and a full-time wife and a full-time house cleaner. You know the way it goes. Like we
Yeah.
wear all those hats equally as much as the other. And
Yes.
yeah, and so being at like the stuff I do in the shop, Parker Place, it was it was a glorified hustle for a while. In the past month, even before Workbench Con, I stopped listening for other people to legitimize that this is my business and I started acting like it myself without asking
Yeah.
permission.
Hmm.
And that's reflected in a lot of the things. Like that was all teed up before I even went to Workbench. Coming home, I saw who my audience was there. I saw who I'm talking to whenever I do a story. I saw my people and I got to meet them. So coming home, it was just that extra step of empowerment of what I've already put into motion. And like I said to a friend the other day, I'm here to kill it. And there's chaos before the kill, but I'm here to kill it and to bring my craft as high and mighty as I can. Um, and then to just believe in myself in the middle of the low spots. Like, I mean, we all go through that, but
Hmm.
I listened for far too long to people who had my ear. I listened to them
Same.
doubt. And then, yeah, and I decided I'm just not going to listen anymore. Yeah.
For me, it's always my mother in my ear. That's not a real
Well,
thing. Are you really trying to do that? What are you doing? Are you crazy? Why would you do that? You have kids, you have a house. What are you doing? So I
and yeah,
understand.
there's a lot of that that goes on here. And the good thing is, like, if my mom does listen to this, I'm going to shout her out. Bev, um, me and Bev, same. So like whenever my mom retired from the bank, she like her hands were not busy anymore. And me and her, we just have to have that thing to fill our hands. Not that being a mom isn't enough, because we know that kids are full time,
Oh
but
yeah.
that need to create and to tell my story, it just was not fulfilled slinging snacks and doing those things. I need to bring my kids along with what my hands were made for, and it's to create. I fully believe that is a reflection of who I am, and the God that made me. And so
Hmm.
um my mom is like the best. Oh my gosh, she's the best cheerleader. My dad, my sisters, my husband. Without him, he the joke is he sands sometimes. That's about it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mine doesn't even
Homeboy does not
stand.
enjoy
So
chocolate.
good for you. Mine won't even go near a sander. I mean, I guess if I was desperate and it was like 3 hours, we gotta do this tonight. Let's go.
Yeah.
But
And that's about the only time that Seth
yeah,
does. It's like whenever I'm really in a pickle, he's like, all right, I'll step up to it.
yeah.
So
But you know
yeah.
what? I like having it just mine. I don't know about
Me
you,
too.
but it's so much
Yeah.
more rewarding and it's my thing. Like to be able to have your own thing is so important.
Yes. I talk with Seth often. The loneliness gets me sometimes. I
Mhm.
love bringing other people into my space. I also know what I want to create. And so Seth and I talk often whenever our kids are, I mean, my kids are 5, nope, sorry, 6, about to be 7. Sorry, Lola. I know when your birthday is, babe. She's almost 7. And then I've got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. And
Okay.
when there's some space,
Mhm.
which we're getting to a real fun zone right now, when there's some space, I want Seth to be able to find his lane and where he fits. And he can weld and do things like that. And he's insanely creative. But time for us is always it's just that balance and that battle, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
I understand. You have 3. I mean, you got one more than me. So that is an
Oof,
added little bonus there.
yeah.
But yeah, just the first of all, just taking care of snacks throughout the day and
Snacks, man.
any kind of injuries they get during a day.
For
That's one
real.
thing.
That's like 90% of my day in just those 2 things, snacks and injuries.
As I was scrolling your page, I saw
Mhm.
the flowers that you made, and I think that must have been before I started following you, or maybe I missed them. But damn, girl, the painting on those flowers, like, did you paint
Shoot.
before that, or is that like all stuff that you've just been learning as you go?
Painting is like I hate to love it. I don't know if I love to hate it. I'll probably do both of those. I'm not, it is not natural for me to be good at it, but I love I love the product that it gives me. So I wrestle with it for hours. But like who did I see today who's like just painted these wonderful florals? Gosh, I can't remember who it was because of course we scroll like none other, just
Uh-huh.
seeing tons of maker stuff. But yes, it does not come naturally at all. I those way back
But
when
you're
my first
stubborn.
floral stubborn. And but through stubbornness comes many accolades of different, talents or whatever. But yeah, so florals, I love them, but they are just they stretch me in so many different ways. My grandma has in the past had the most amazing garden. So any floral that
Mm.
I do comes from either A, her favorite flower, or B, something that she grew in her yard that she's told me about. Like a lot of the stuff that's on my page has like some really rich backstory that I just never tell because either A, I just forget to, or
Yeah.
I don't have the space to. But just about every floral has a great backstory that connects to Margene Mitchell, the queen bee. For my probably the reason why I am the way that I am as a maker, it started with her. She hustled all things in her day.
I love that. It's amazing. The florals are gorgeous, but I did see that you strived away from them after a while. I was
They
like,
are
I don't see any more anymore. All of a sudden she's carving spoons and scoops and stuff. She's like, florals, that was nice.
yeah, like let's take a home minute. I'm actually about to I just got my saber tooth the new kits that you guys have coming out, the
Oh
scroll
yes, the
kit.
scroll kit.
Yes, and so I've got a bunch of florals coming up and I'm going to try and we see everything under the sun. We see the greats who are making florals right now that they're selling out whole collections and whatnot. And I
Wildwood, I'm
thought, what?
assuming we're talking about.
She's one of them.
Who
And
else? Who
but
else?
there's
Let's name drop.
hold on, let me think. Let me think. Because I'm horrible whenever it comes to the names like straight out the gate.
I saw your thing talking about who do you want me to name drop today? So I figured you might as well tell us about the people that you're
Oh,
loving right now.
I'm loving Ash from I listened to you and Ash from Ashwood and Hawk.
Ashwood.
Yeah, and I love her. I told her I listened to it just so I could hear her laugh again because it's like my favorite. It's like pure candy.
She's so nice.
Yes, there's so many people who do it well. Like what I need to do is I'm gonna make a note. I will name drop you in my stories later, because if I can't, I would hate to miss somebody right now. Look, I'm writing it down.
I see it. Very
But my
concentrated face there.
that's my woodworking face. But my thing is, like, what offering do I have to give? What is me? Not anybody else, not what's selling. What do I have to give to this space? And so I'm from Texas. If you can't hear the banjo sound in my voice.
That's what got me attracted to you, man. Our voice messages back and forth with that accent. Woo!
Yes.
Yeehaw!
For real, right? So I think I'm just gonna do massive singular bloom flowers. I did them once.
No, I just saw them, so I'm so excited. Like, they're gorgeous and they're huge. Like, I love the idea of going that big, because when I made this little test one for the scroll saw kit, I was like, okay, I thought I went big enough. No, that was too tiny still. Like, I need to go way bigger. And like, okay, so this bloom where you are planted sign that you made.
Yes.
Stunning. That purple with the edges like that. People scroll down her page, find it, because it's so nice.
So I'm going to take, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying the orange one too is amazing as well, but that purple one just gets you.
Yes, that was a big experiment, and I'm going to take that idea and I'm going to add on to it just a little and try and up the quality of it. And you'll have to wait to see how I do it.
Ooh.
A little bit of mystery never hurt a girl. So I'm going to, that's going to be my big challenge. And what I'm gearing up for, normally I don't do summer markets. Normally I keep that for the holidays. I reached out, I made goals this 2023. And one of them was to get my stuff into a local place that had the quality that's going to make me step up. And there's a place in Gilmer, Texas. And it's a great East Texas location. It takes all the East Texas things, pine trees everywhere, pine curtain, football's Mecca. Like, it does all things for,
so
yes.
Plus plenty of things that you can make that would relate to people there.
Yes. And I wanted to just try and push through the end of the room on all things that I can make for that market. Well, they accepted my application, and I'm coming in June to be a vendor there. It's a full weekend deal. They have food trucks, the whole gimmick. My kids are going to be able to go and have a great time. Amazing. So yes. And so I'm trying to test the market for things that I make. Normally I keep it within a very skinny margin, because I do have to monetize off the things that I put my time into. I've got huge goals in my shop on things I need to afford, but my creativity is always knocking at the door. Like, but what if you did this? I haven't seen this. Let's push here. So I'm going to test a few ideas with this market, and you'll see carvings, florals, wall decor. You're going to see a lot of things that you'd find, kitchens, cutting boards, accessories for charcuteries. Because let's be real, everybody and their mom already has like 7 charcuterie boards. We may not need any more of those in the future, but like, what accessories can you push into? So like practical but pretty. That's what I'm going to push into. And hopefully we'll see some innovation. Hopefully we won't see anything that we've been scrolling and seeing 1,000 on our feeds, except for I do really want to make a plaid cutting board. I don't know why, but I like chopped wood. He makes one, and I told him, I said, listen, bud, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna make one of these. And he's so supportive. And so that's one thing I have on my to-do list, but it's exciting and it's a big deal. And I actually haven't released it. I'm going to 80 Acre Market. So this is my first offering on
Woo. That's dope though. Okay. That's okay. Cause you've been grinding. You've been making so many things repeatedly. You've been gearing yourself up for this. Like, this is like very exciting moment. I think, and I hope it goes really well for you.
Me too. I don't know if I'm looking for a financial number. The money part of it can never be my focus, because the moment you make money, it's gone.
They just need to sell, like,
yes,
they need to be sellers.
And exactly. And that has profit for me, because I'm able to buy the things I need to. But then the other part of it is affirmation that was a good build, and that I'm getting my worth, and that there's room to continue on that vision. And so I love that part of it. I also hate that part of it. at the end of the day, I just want somebody, I want to help tell someone's story with the things that I make. And being from Pine Barren, those guys, we talk about pine trees a lot. I live in the Pine Curtain of Texas. Like that, I grew up knowing more Texas history than world or US history alone. Like, quiz me. I've got, well, don't quiz me. Don't quiz me on Texas history. But like, so there's pride here, but it's more of the story here, not geographical location, but it's the people that I do life with every day. And then hopefully as I continue my maker journey, I can tell a more wide and a variety of more stories with the things that I make. And that's the ultimate goal, I think, for me and my identity as a maker.
Dude, I love that. That's also beautiful.
Oh,
I love you. You're so cute.
It's a little hardy. It's a little mushy, but you know, I mean, I got that going for me.
I'm just a cute Texas girl out here, just living a dream, making what I want to make. That's my best impression of my Texas accent.
I love it. Just add a horse to it and you're there.
I didn't want to go too far, you know, because you could like really just ruin it. Didn't want to do that. Didn't want to.
Well, I mean, that's like the more tired I get, the more it just becomes twang and not actual English. So you're not off brand here.
Dude, I was gonna ask you what's next, but like you have it already kind of like you're working towards that. Like with the social media side, like it's hard to focus on that when you're grinding so hard on like goals, right? Like, how's that going with all this other stuff?
My social media is such a toot, you know, you follow the rules, you grind hard, and then there's so many people looking at these metrics and stats, and I just feel like the game is unfair. It's like a game was written by my 3-year-old who can barely say her L's, you know what I mean? Like, so I've disassociated with those things. I was never really into them anyway. My big thing is, am I talking authentically about what I'm doing now? Am I consistent? Am I getting real life engagement with people who are also doing what I'm doing, or people who are, you know, an audience to those things? And to be honest, since Workbench Con, it's been pleasant. Like, I am talking with folks regularly. I have my, you know, like, network crew,
like other makers.
Yes. Yeah. I found, you know, my core people. They're the people that you talk with daily. Shout out to Erin, Nicole. We check on each other daily, especially since she had her baby. But so I've got like my close friends that I would put them in the family category. But then I've branched out to this other sector of makers that has just been lovely. And so as long as those things are happening, my big thing with Instagram, I just want to talk. I just want to talk shop. I don't get to do that with my kids and a lot of times with my husband because we have real life. But I think as far as you talked about what's next with that, I need technology in such a real and bad way. Like, I'm a little bit more than Dom level whenever it comes to like understanding how to do a Zoom meeting. But I've built my entire business off of my phone that I'm staring at right now. Is so
and then she hangs up the call.
Did you see it?
No, I don't know what it just went to a black screen for a second. I go, and then she leaves the call.
Right? That was my kid's school wanting me to sub at their school.
Anyways, that's called real life.
Yes, absolutely. But really my next big thing is to be able to purchase the technology that I need to keep up with me. It's about I'm going so fast at this, like with growth, and it's a great thing. The growing pains are great, but they're frustrating. I need to bring the right tools, technology tools along with me so that I can meet you know, the ideas that I have in my head. And so that means with that would come longer, more quality videos. I need to branch out more into the other socials, but I know the way I want to do it. I just can't quite get there fast enough because of the lack of technology at my fingertips. I need a website. I have all those things going for me, but just not the stuff to do it. So hopefully after this market,
a nice website. with the markets and stuff. So people have a callback. They buy one thing, they find you at later.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, and I
Yeah.
meet them at the Walmart and we exchange. Like, I'm here for
You
that
got the
dirty business.
goods.
Yeah. For real though, that's kind of like where I'm operating out of. But with the bigger shop though, and where we're about to expand into, bigger shop means bigger builds for me. I'm a skills collector at the deepest part of my heart. I just want to learn more things, make more things, be bigger, and then be consistent. That is probably the biggest word, with alongside discipline, to be able to meet the demands that I put on myself, not anyone else. And I've built my sister a table, which was probably the coolest, best thing I've put my hands to. It was also the heaviest freaking table that I think exists in the world. There's no table heavier than the one I built because I had to pick it up 1,000 times. But I want to be able to do those things, and just I don't like being told that like I can't. And so I need a shop that's going to reflect I can, you know?
Yeah, I totally get
Yeah.
it. How big's your space?
Uh is it I think it's a 2-car garage. I
Two
think you
car?
could
Okay.
shove 2 cars in there.
All right.
It's just, yeah, just big door. You could
Mhm.
probably, if there wasn't my stuff in there, you could probably shove some cars in there, maybe 2. Um I don't know square footage and space. I
No,
just know
no,
I'm
no. That's
fitting.
bigger than mine, and
Yeah.
mine's a one car. That's why I was curious.
But you've been rearranging, I saw.
I have been rearranging. I got rid of 2 tools already just to make more room. And it
Rest in
hurt to
peace.
get rid of them because I'm like, I don't use them now, but I'm like, I might, because it was a
Oof.
bandsaw and a drill press, you know?
Oh,
So, so it's like, they're old, but granted, they
okay.
still work. They're old. I gave them to my father-in-law though. So it's not like they went far,
Oh, yeah,
but
you kept it in the family. That's fine.
exactly. I
You
didn't
can go
want to
back
just
to
like
that.
get rid of them, get rid of them.
Yeah.
But I much prefer new ones if anyone wants to sponsor me. That's what
Harvey.
I've already tried.
Uh,
But
you gotta
no,
go knock at that door.
having a one car garage definitely is a challenge. You have to only keep what you need at that moment because
Yeah.
I'm a hoarder of wood too, and I got rid of a ton of wood again to my father-in-law. But
Yeah.
still, I had to make room because I got new tools, and I'm like, I don't have the space for it right now, and I need to get them off the tables so I could
Yeah.
disassemble the tables and make them fit the space. Like
Yeah.
I got a kind of vision in my head, but I'm trying to wing that with balancing all the other shit that I do, you know? So it's like,
Yeah. So like the smaller the space, the more you have to be an adult in a place where you're supposed to play.
yeah.
That's the way like you have to have all these priorities all of a sudden. You're like, wait a minute, this is where I came to play. Why do I have to be an adult here and have all these priorities? Like mine's dust collection. I have to be an adult and go buy that. Like
I do too.
yesterday. Yeah. That makes me feel better.
I need to. I mean, my shop, when we took everything out of it because I'm trying to paint it right now. So
Mhm.
we took everything out of it to give it like a deep clean. We sprayed out my shop about 15, 20 times and it just kept pouring dust out. Like it was
Uh,
just everywhere hidden. So I was like, I
yeah.
gotta get that out of there.
Yeah, that's my life right now. Like I would, when the day comes that I'm able, and as soon as we move forward in what we're doing right now, like a full reckoning is about to happen. Um, I don't look forward to it, but I'm ready for it to be done. So let's do it.
Yeah, we're trying to either get like a carport or like another garage essentially to put in our
Mhm.
backyard so I could have like a space where I can just carve inside if I need to because the weather is so unpredictable where I live. It's
Oh
either
yeah,
like scorching hot or it's freezing, you know? So it's like,
weird.
yeah, it's New England. And it
Yeah.
literally it's up and down all the time. Um it just needs to be a place where I can control that because I tried carving out in the sun yesterday and it's
Mm-mm.
brutal. Like I'm sunburned right now. Like I actually put a
Yeah.
long sleeve shirt on because I was sunburned from it. Like I'm like, I just need comfort. I need
And then like you're
something.
sweating, and all that
Yeah.
sawdust just sticks to you like glue, and you make a weird wood glue that you didn't ask for out of your bodily fluids. Yeah,
Yeah. It gets
that's
uncomfortable.
yeah. Take
Yeah.
that, tight bond.
Yeah. Good. I ended up carving on my deck like in the shade at like the end of the day, because I was like, I can't do it anymore. I just can't be
Yeah.
in the sun like this. But it's so hard because you gotta like, I have to move all my patio furniture out of the way to get space.
Priorities.
It's a
Priorities right
challenge.
there.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, it's just me hugging my gate. Like, it's hilarious. It's a spoon carving video, and I left a little bit of my gate, which is a Camp Crystal Lake, like Jason Voorhees themed gate.
Uh-huh.
So it has like that in the background as I'm doing the spoon carving video for Sabretooth. And I sent it to them for approval, and she was like, "It's perfect. Go for it." I'm like,
Yep.
she didn't ask me to crop that out. Hell yeah. I'm like, because I left it
She's
in on
appreciated.
purpose. Yes.
Yeah.
Jody is cool. I always I
Yeah.
say that all the time. Like, Jody's a really cool manager. Like, she's very like open to things and just like a cool
She's
person.
good people.
Mhm.
I like it whenever somebody can sniff out authenticity beyond perfection.
Yeah.
Like, those are my people, you know? Yeah.
Yep. She's cool. She's good to work with. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you want to talk about? We've got a few minutes left.
Oh, shoot. Well, I want to know more about like what's going on with you, what you have
Yeah.
next.
I
mean,
yeah, go ahead.
and then somebody did want to ask what are our hobbies outside of woodworking, but I'm like, what are those? Like, who has hobbies if they're a woodworker?
I'm one of those people. I'll answer that turned my hobbies into my job. So my hobby is my job. Like,
Yep.
I used to go to concerts all the time. Like, I'll talk about like that. Like, that's definitely a hobby of mine, I would say, is
Yeah.
going to emo, punk, ska, all
Oh my
kinds of
gosh,
different
yes.
bands. Yes. Like
Let's
that.
go.
Yeah. I keep watching like the releases of stuff. Like, I've seen Brand New, Taking Back Sunday, Dashboard like so many times, but like
Yes.
they come by, I'm still like, well,
Like,
I could see him again. So
you're like, let me go.
yeah, I'd say that's my hobby. Now that the weather is getting warmer, I definitely got to plan out a show to go see. What about
That's
you? You could think
fun.
of something.
Well, I'm just listening to you and all your great. If I had a hobby, good heavens,
If I
I
had a hobby.
don't like. I'm like trying to come up with something. Seth and I used to like way before kids. We used to play shows in Tyler, Texas, where we lived, and we would show up to wineries, all these different places. He plays guitar. I've played all kinds of instruments for gosh, at this point, 25 plus years. Mostly in the drum era. In fact, my birthday gift to myself is to build a cajon for myself.
What's that?
Oh, it's a box drum originally
Okay.
from Peru. And it has a tapa head, which is real thin Baltic birch or whatever wood that you want. And it's got snares that are pressed into the back. So like the middle of the drum is the bass, and then the top of the drum is the snare. So it's basically like an acoustic drum kit. Yeah. And yeah, and so I played it for
I
years.
see that.
And also one fun fact, I beatbox incessantly walking around the house. I've lived alone for a long time or just with kids, without any other mirrors in my life of other adults. I beatbox all the time. And like, that's what I hear when I hear music. It's a horrible habit to have for people who don't know you. In fact, I did a story of these worms that were like, if you make noises, the worms dance. And so they were like, my kids are like yelling at them, they're dancing. And so I was like, I did the noise to it. And Becca from Southern Pine, she was like, is that an Instagram song or is that you? Like, I cannot tell if it's, I was like, it's me, Becca. But I think my hobby would be, I just wish Seth and I played more music. He is a wonderful songwriter, a wonderful singer. I grew up singing a harmony. I don't even know how to sing melody. All I hear is harmony and drum beats my whole life. I wish we did that more, but I guess that would be my hobby.
That's definitely your hobby for sure.
Yeah.
See, we still have something. It's music related too. I like that.
Yeah, that is playing off of yours. You go to the concerts and I give the concerts.
Yeah, I just never actually tried to make music. That's how
it's
just like, I don't want to learn how to read that.
You're like, pass, I just want to go.
Yeah, I'll just go enjoy it. I'll go be a consumer. You can't do everything. Sometimes you just want to appreciate something.
For sure. Like
and
me,
sing
I want to
along.
appreciate cooking. Yeah. I want to show up and like eat and then I want to go home. Like that's what I want to appreciate. But looking back, like I'm 36, I'm about to have my 37th birthday, and which makes you just very much look to the past. And what's great is I've seen myself in different eras of my life. Like I wanted music. I learned to make music. I wanted to see what the world looked like. I was a missionary for a year of my life. I got to see what all types of different people, how they recognize their role in the world. And that was an amazing and humbling thing that taught me to shut up and listen more, which I'm so grateful for. And I don't do very well. Um, but
That's cool though that you traveled around.
yeah, I got to go literally all the way around the world. And a little piece of mine and Seth's story is it took me traveling around the world for him to see like, hey, I think I want to marry her. And so as soon as I got home, we were married in 3 months. And then, you know, that part of our story began. But making and doing things, it's always fleshed out. No matter where I was, it was going to flesh out one way or the other. And I always call woodworking like a weird flex for like my late 30s to have a small business in woodworking, but one that I'm so grateful for. And a lot of it is because of the people that I've met that really got me out of a tough time where I just didn't feel seen in my life. New mom, you know the story.
Oh yeah.
And yeah,
You like lose your identity when you have kids. It really does knock you
gone.
out. Like
Yep.
it's instant. It starts happening when you're pregnant. You start losing it slowly. You can't go to things. You're not feeling great. You kind of start disassociating with your life because you're just a little bit miserable. And then once the kids come out, it's just like,
yeah. And you slowly get the opportunity to rebuild yourself, dare I say rebrand yourself in the things that you look back and you think that was really important. I want to keep that. And then you can look back and do the same thing with the others. Say, you know, that girl needs to be gone. I don't want to bring her back anymore. And I think the past, you know, my oldest is about to be 7. The past 7 years, woodworking has helped me have a tangible thing to rewrite that story and to write a better one as I go forward. And now I get to do it with 3 really beautiful hearted children to bring along with me. And it just so happens that I do it with sawdust. And so like if anybody hears anything, if they've stayed along with our podcast this long, like a huge thank you to this community, because that was a vehicle that I didn't even know I needed, didn't even know how to ask for. Because you know, new moms, we don't even know how to tell what we need. And they showed up through this silly little app called Instagram. And I'm thankful for it. And if there's a new mom or anybody in a similar situation, like dig in here. Your people are here. Stay long enough to find them, you know?
No, I agree with you 100%. Like, I like that first of all, it's been 7 years for you, because it's been 7 years for me that I've been going really hard for this since my kids, because my kids are 7 as well. So like, so I identify with that number very much, because like they just turned 7 in March. And like I started carving signs very shortly after they were born. I was doing like scroll saw work before. I was doing watercolor paintings, all this stuff like before that, but I dived into like the woodworking world and Instagram world 7 years ago, you know? So for me too, it's like, damn, like 7 years. And like, I finally feel like I am the person that I wanted to be. Like when I realized so badly after having the kids, how much I did not want to go back to my job. Like I did it. I went back and I did it for 6 years or 6.5 years, but I was miserable after that. Cause just like you find out, like you said, what is important to me, what is going to make me happy, because right now I'm not happy. Like this is not what I want. Like I can't just, like for you, probably you just can't identify as mom. Like you said, the snack master, you can't just be the snack master all day. Like something has to be yours. And I love that when people find like this kind of creative outlet, and then it like all those people behind you, all those friends doing that same journey. And then Workbench Con, Maker Camp, all these events that you get to go to and see people. It's magic. This is why I have this podcast. It's for these opportunities to talk to people like you, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. There's so much power in being able to share your story, no matter how you share it. Like find your vehicle and go, because we need someone to listen to us. it's as elemental as, eating and breathing, that we need to hear that we have an audience to be able to share what's important to us. And that was this for me. I call it mirrors. You need mirrors in your life. Choose the right ones,
I heard you say the word mirrors a few times today. I like that. No, it's something different.
Yeah, it's
True
definitely
though.
true. Yeah, and
Yeah.
don't pick those little wonky mirrors, because every now and go those show up. The wonky mirrors are the people who they're distorting your worth and what's real for you and what you need, and they're putting their needs on you. And I'm just as honest with those as anything else, because like, I'm not saying I wasted time, but I doubted for a really long time, and I didn't choose that mirror any longer. So yeah,
They can't stay with us forever. You have to drop a few of them.
for real, right? Let's
Oh
break
yeah.
some. That'd be an epic music video. Yes. Everything's
Broken
a movie.
glass everywhere.
Yeah.
Acting like I
Surf
just don't
print.
care. Dude, you're awesome. Oh, I got a
I
little
had a blast.
teary-eyed and I was like, oh, I know that feeling though, like that 7-year thing. I'm glad you had a blast. This
Yeah.
podcast is all about just chilling. I don't know if I even gave you the fair warning, but I feel like you knew the vibe already of what the show is. Like I always say when people come on, no agenda. We're going to talk
Yeah,
about what we're going to talk about and it goes
for
where it
real.
goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I told my husband, he was like, "Are you nervous?" I was like, "I'm talking to Tiff. Like, I'm talking to
That's
Tiff.
all it
Like,
is.
yeah, I don't think that nervous plays a factor in it, but no, I really enjoyed it. This was like the first date night that I've had in a really long time. And you cannot tell, but I have mascara on
Ooh.
and I smell good.
Ooh.
And
Feeling
I wore a
good.
really comfy shirt.
Um, and I'm glad I'm actually glad I didn't prepare too much because it was kind of fun scrolling through your
Yeah.
page while I was hanging out with you. Normally I'll do that like 15 minutes before the show just so I can
Hmm.
be like really fresh. I'm not much of a preparer for this because this is my fun time. This is my
Yeah.
enjoyable time, but I do like seeing where people started. Like for me, that's super important because I like to see that progression. I like to watch and see how
Yeah.
it morphs and like these knives and stuff that you're making are so different from everybody else's stuff. And I love that. I just wanted to tell you
Oh,
that.
thanks, friend. I'm getting back to the creative stuff. I'm about done with I'm a little bit over the practical. Practical but pretty is what I call it. But I want to get back to just the pretty, because every now and again we need to like treat ourselves, and that's a treat myself build. But
I've done a few practical things and they are nice and people like them, but
yeah,
it's like I rather be making a 2 foot by 2 foot piranha plant, you know?
that's what I'm talking about. I'm
You
so
know?
stoked to see you carve that.
I'm so excited. I'm so upset at myself. And I haven't talked about it yet publicly, and I will
Mhm.
when I start releasing the video for it. But I had it all strategically planned up how I was gonna do the glue up so that there'd be 2 leaves, like 2 pieces of wood that had a leaf cut out on it, being glued
Mhm.
together on each side. So 2 here and then 2 on this side because it's just
Right.
two. I fucking glued it so that there's 1 leaf here, 2 in the middle, 1 leaf here. And I'm like, no.
It's
So
like,
like,
cut one of them off.
yeah, I'm gonna have to just like improvise as we do.
Yeah.
But I was
Yeah.
just so sad because I was like, no, I had this all fucking planned out and now it's gonna be I'm honestly just like pondering just like fucking cutting all the leaves off, carving it separately, and then just sticking them back in.
That's what I'm talking. I'm like,
Yeah.
shove a dowel somewhere. Dowel it. Yeah.
Honestly, it might be a dowel job. No, but you had like that's what we do, right? Like because
Yeah.
we all get into like this automation where you're just doing the thing and you forget
Yeah.
that you had a plan. And
Yeah.
then you're like, oops. And then now you got to make a new
Yeah.
plan.
Oh, that's the story. Like I do that. I do that all the time. It's an embarrassing amount. And I don't even mind sharing that with people, because I feel like a majority of us, that's kind of the space we live in.
Uh-huh.
We, you get that good idea and that you're like, let's go. And you just like roll.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you for coming on here. I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad you were relaxed and just had a good time.
Always, anytime. I'm down to hang out anytime.
I hope you enjoyed getting to know Leah a little bit more. She is amazing, so fun, so funny, and I was glad to have some time to hang out with her. If you're looking to support the show, it is patreon.com/makerconversations, and you can support for as little as $3 a month. A thank you again for listening. We appreciate it. And by we, I mean me. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks again. Bye.